The Clockmaker's Impossible Hour. English Story Level 4. In the narrow streets of Old Bristol, where chimneys leaned like tired soldiers, lived a clockmaker named Arden. His shop was filled with ticking sounds, soft, sharp, steady like 1,000 tiny heartbeats. People trusted him with everything from pocket watches to massive tower clocks. Yet one clock in his workshop remained unfinished, the hourless clock. It stood taller than Arden himself, built from rare metals and gears shaped like stars. But no matter how he'd adjusted it, the clock refused to strike the final hour. Arden believed that if he could complete it, the clock would measure not just time, but possibility, an hour beyond the ordinary 24. An hour where lost chances could be reclaimed. Late one evening, while adjusting the smallest gear, Arden heard a faint knock. A young woman entered, her clothes dusted with soot. She introduced herself as Mira, an apprentice blacksmith, and she carried a broken pocket watch. She'd admitted she had dropped it during a storm and hoped it could be fixed. Arden repaired the watch quickly, but Mira's attention lingered on the hourless clock. She asked why he never finished it. Arden explained its purpose, and confessed that the mechanism for the impossible hour eluded him. Mira studied the gears thoughtfully and suggested forging a missing piece from a rare alloy only master blacksmiths used. For days, Mira brought metal samples, and together they experimented. Slowly, piece by piece, that hourless clock grew closer to waking. Yet each night, the shop felt strangely colder, as if the clock were draining warmth from the room. Arden sensed that this was no ordinary machine, it was gathering time itself. Finally, Mira forged the last gear, a delicate ring shaped like a crescent moon. The moment Arden installed it, the entire clock trembled. Lights flickered. Every other clock in the room stopped ticking. Then, with a deep, resonant chime, the hourless clock struck the impossible hour. The 25th. The room had changed. Arden found himself standing in a dim field, though his workshop had vanished. Mira stood beside him, equally stunned. A voice, soft, almost a whisper, explained that they had entered the hour between regret and hope. A hidden moment that existed outside ordinary time. In this hour, one lost chance from their past could be restored. Arden thought immediately of the time he refused to apprentice a young orphan boy who had dreamed of becoming a clockmaker. He regretted it every day. Mira remembered a moment she failed to defend her younger brother from cruel mockery. Both longed for the chance to make things right. The hour allowed them to step into their pasts, not to change fate, but to offer what they once withheld. Arden encouraged the orphan boy, giving him the tools he had denied before. Mira spoke firmly to those who teased her brother, showing him he was worth defending. Their hearts felt lighter, as if untying tight knots. When they returned to the workshop, the hourless clock was silent again. The impossible hour had passed. Mira asked whether the clock would ever strike again. Arden shook his head gently. "Some hours come only once," he whispered. The next morning, the clock crumbled into dust, leaving only the moon-shaped gear behind. Arden placed it in a small wooden box as a reminder that time is precious, but forgiveness is even more so. And whenever Mira visited, they spoke not of lost chances, but of the ones they chose to create.